Edinburgh City are bottom of Scottish League 2 after being deducted 15 points at the start of the season, making them the worst team in Scotland on Football Manager. So today's task is simple: to rebuild Edinburgh City to become the best team in Scotland and to go on and lift the Scottish Premiership. However, I'm a little busy at the minute, so I sent my dad to do this challenge instead. If he can survive that first season, he will have 3 promotions before even getting into the correct league, with Rangers and Celtic to put up a title fight. With that long into the future, Dad's priority at the very beginning was to build a team to avoid relegation, and for now fit into his 4-3-3 formation. The first new arrival was a lone player from Rangers and somebody who could score goals at this level in Jose Calleja. But he also brought in a few new players in his free transfers to keep improving different positions, give him squad depth and increase his chances of survival. The best player currently at the club is Robbie Mahan. However, he has just 1 year left on his contract. The start to the season has been positive though, and he wins 4 out of his first 5 games in charge of Edinburgh City. Dad, quite the challenge you got on your hands here with Edinburgh City.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, is it?
No, but I think you've made a good start bringing in some players that might help you survive this first season. The loan signing of Jose Calleja, the 17-year-old.
Yeah, desperately needed someone to put the ball in the back of the net for me.
Yeah.
Hopefully this guy could do it for me.
3 goals already in the first 7 games, so a few free transfers coming in the door as well, which definitely will help each part of the pitch.
Yeah.
And you're setting yourself up 4-3-3, keeping it simple, dropping into a 4-1-4-1.
Yeah, the best teams in the squad that I could see was my wingers, so I definitely wanted to play wingers.
Yeah,
as you can see there. So getting
Man
the striker
there looks
in,
like the best one,
yeah.
Robbie Mann.
So I'm looking at I can score goals. So in my head, I'm just thinking, right, defense has got to be the most strong as I can get it, and I've managed to get a couple of good defenders in. Midfield's not too bad, so I've got to defend what I've got.
Yeah,
I'm 15 points behind at the start of the season, so I've got to defend really, really strongly and hopefully get the odd 1-2-0 win, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you started off really well because with that minus 15, you've won the first 4 games of the season. Stirling,
Really
Stranraer and Athletic Dunbarton, and only lost 1 game to Elgin City, who are currently sat in 2nd place.
Yeah.
So it's been a great start, but you are still minus 3 points.
Yeah.
I mean, Dunbarton's down there too, minus 2 points.
Yeah, they've started on a minus as well, so yeah.
Nowhere near as bad as what you were, but hopefully with that start you can continue to go on, because you would technically be top, or you would be top on goal difference.
Yeah.
So with that form, you might be able to climb your way up and never know, maybe even make the playoffs. But survival
is the main thing this season.
Is the aim for season 1.
Yeah.
After the excellent start that Dad made, Edinburgh City eventually did climb into positive points and catch up with the rest of the league, with loan signing Jose Calleja scoring 24 goals in total, with Mahan, Zaid and Jarvis all in the mid-teens as well for goals. They actually finished in a playoff spot. However, they did come up against Montrose from the division above, who beat them 4-3 on aggregate. Either way, it's a great season to kick things off, finishing in 4th place. But with players refusing to sign contracts and Dad's top scorer leaving, it was to be a busy summer. Weirdly, despite Mahan running out of contract, he decided to stick around with the club, just getting paid week by week, which Dad was happy to do so, given the fact that he was still one of the club's best players, and it could lead to him deciding to stay in the long run. He also tried to bring Jose Calleja back, but Rangers refused, so instead he promoted a young striker from the academy who looked like he could be ready for minutes. And alongside 6 new signings to the side, the season began with a very positive start. Right, well, he did sign because he was out on loan, but Simon... I mean, your guess is as good as mine at the last name. He come back from a loan deal last season and didn't have to replace the loanee signing, of course, that he lost, who scored 24 goals last year.
I mean, I was disappointed I did lose him, but this guy might be able to do it for me.
Yeah, he got 2 goals in 5 games already. Looks quite good current ability-wise. Not a bad little striker. Only 19 as well, so maybe with game time he could be even better. In that 4-3-3 again, sticking with what you had, because you just missed out. Playoff semi-final. Liam Newton was a guy, though, that you were quite chuffed with getting.
Yeah, I was really glad to get this guy in, because he covers 3 positions, a really good squad player. And I think when you're in this sort of league, you need squad players, really. Because I can't buy any sort of players with 1 position. This guy fits 3, so
Yeah, I mean, I advised you at the beginning not to spend any money and just put it towards your scouting. So it's good to see that you're doing that. And at the beginning of the season, no points, minus points or anything like that. Don't have to worry about that. Even kill. Yeah, starting off from 0, top of the league at the beginning. 3 wins, 2 draws, unbeaten at the start there. That's a good sign.
Yeah, really pleased with that start.
Because we know, like, last season, you wouldn't have got automatic promotion, even with the without the minus 15
Yeah, the
points.
team that won it by a mile.
Yeah, you would have still been in the playoffs. You were just unlucky in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So hopefully this time round, you'll have a little bit of better luck should you reach the playoffs or automatically go up. Automatics mean that you don't have to play the teams avoiding relegation in the league above to swap leagues with them, which is such a cruel way of promotion and relegation if you ask me. But with Dad's side locking in on their first great season with an even better second, he might not even have that problem. And it's exactly what happened as Dad took Edinburgh City's side to automatic promotion by 6 points in Season 2. But of course, there is still a long way to go yet. Well, there we go, Dad. Promotion as champions as well. No faffing around having to go into the playoffs. 6 points. Finished as champions.
Really
Gotta be
pleased with
happy with that.
Yeah, finished really good. The young boy done the business for me.
30 goals.
Can't win a game without scoring goals, and he's banged in 30 for me. So
just what you needed.
Really pleased with that for a 19-year-old.
Yeah,
really good.
Came in. Well, he's 20 now, and obviously playing that amount of game, he's only got a little bit better. Robbie Mann, that was an interesting one because he refused to sign a new deal. Still played the whole season. Still one of your best players.
Yeah, I tried again to re-sign him again. Just not interested. So
No.
he's definitely going to go. So.
Wants to move to a stronger. Nobody wants you, Robbie. Nobody wants you. You just got to maybe stick around. Zaid's done quite well as well, though. But again, you've done well to nail down a lot of the contracts which were running out this season.
Yeah.
And keep them going on for another year. So you haven't got anybody other than potentially Robbie who will be leaving the club in the promotion, so going up into the division above. But they're giving you enough to stick in the wage budget to find those free transfers to improve the squad.
And that's what it's all about. You just got to really hunt them in availability for these players on freebies, really.
Yeah.
You know, the wages, sometimes you got to look at the wages. I went for a couple of players, just couldn't afford their wages. But that's it, really. You know, when a good player comes available and he's a freebie, he's going to be asking for more money.
That's right, yeah.
That's what kills you sometimes.
Stepping up into League One, and Dad has a problem. Robbie Mann finally left the club, which is unfortunate as well because Dad's goalkeeper left too. So that was Dad's first priority, and he found Craig Hepburn as the keeper replacement, who was only 22 years of age and decent for this level. It was a positive summer all around as the board agreed to accept their training facility upgrade, and Dad brought in many good players on free transfers. Dad kept the in possession the same, but switched things around for out of possession to make them harder to beat. And it was a good sign at the start of the season as the goals were flying in, and Dad's side were currently sitting top of the league by the beginning of September. A couple of good key signings here, Dad. Craig Hepburn for your goalkeeper position, coming in, looks a solid goalkeeper for this level.
Good for 22.
Yeah, he's already kept 4 clean sheets as well in the league, so that's really good. But there's a winger and a striker, which I think might be the difference between just surviving, potentially play your cards right in the right system.
Yeah,
could push on quite early. Kai Kennedy, 6 goals, 3 assists already for the 25-year-old.
He's hit the ground running, isn't he, for a winger, scoring. Was it 6 goals already?
Yeah.
Really pleased with this guy.
Losing Mann already.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because obviously he wouldn't extend the first deal. He has gone now. And Connor Falls is the other one. Got 2 goals, 2 assists in 4 appearances as a striker. Not so bad at all. Gives a bit of competition up there.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what I really wanted. I mean, his current ability is 4, so he's got to be good in that league too, I think, really. So it's worth a chance, really. Okay,
so we're still sticking with the in-possession tactic, but the out-of-possession's changed. 4-2-3-1.
I've made it sort of strikeless, you know, as a defending side, really. I want to be a little bit harder to beat, really. So I'm in a higher league, so they're going to be better teams, better players coming against me. I didn't want to take a chance of being too attacking, really.
Yeah. So we're in William Hill League One now, the 3rd tier Scottish football. Drew 2 games, won 4. It's a great start yet again.
Didn't believe I'd be this good at a start. So yeah, I'm just great start. So, but it's going to be a long season.
Yeah, the season preview puts you down in 8th place as a new promoted side.
New side coming up, no money.
Down. I mean, even that wouldn't even get you relegated.
No.
So it's only the bottom 2 that would go into a playoff, and then obviously relegation itself, automatic relegation. But yeah, with a start like that, you just never know. Maybe a playoff situation again.
Hopefully.
Let's see.
The goals being scored just kept coming. Dad's side had the most shots and scored the most goals in the league. The trouble was that they were conceding quite a lot as well. They finished in third place in the season, but unfortunately was beaten by second place side Dunfermline 2-1 across 2 legs in the playoffs for promotion. So Dad knew this summer that he needed to bring in some defenders, and he brought in a whole new back line, including a left-sided centre-back. He even brought in a new young goalkeeper in Murray Johnson, and all players that joined him were all free transfers. However, Dad's best signing was arguably his new striker, Jeffrey Bonney, who has joined the club, and he has started the season in excellent form too. He has 6 goals in 9 games already and 4 in the 4 league games that he has played, with 2 assists. You can see exactly why Dad's excited to bring him in.
Dad, a new back line joining the club.
Yes.
Which is all good. And a new striker, which could be deadly this year. Jeffrey Bonney.
Couldn't believe my luck. I didn't think he was going to come to me at first, so when he agreed to sign for me, I was chuffed to bits because he's past experience. He used to play for Celtic, so
yeah, he's a key player here.
Yeah, he could be good.
He's even played Premiership football, never scored, but he did play Premiership football. He's done well at a level above than Championship's got 3 goals there, but 4 in 4, he's found a level where he's going to be decent. Former Swansea talent as well. He's a Welsh player, so it's good when you're in these nations to find other players in the UK, because work permit wise, etc., it just makes it a lot easier. So he is definitely a player to build a team around and feed. You're also locking in Plank this year. Don Plank.
Sent him on loan last season to help him go along, but his potential ability is 4.5 stars, so he's going to be good.
Yeah.
So I've locked him in to sort of see if we can bring it along, really.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate in the playoffs last season.
Yeah.
This season, 5 wins from 5 at the start of the campaign. Queen of the South, Spartan, all clubs that were up there last year. Yeah. So, I mean, it could be good. The season preview is even more generous compared to what they were last year. They got you in 4th.
Yeah.
So obviously, as a newly promoted side last year, they didn't favour you. This season, after seeing how well you did, 4th place.
I think it'd have been too quick if I'd gone up last season. So I've got a new defence, as I've said earlier. This could be the right season for me to go up.
Yeah,
with that new
agree.
striker.
Getting himself into the Scottish Championship is going to be difficult. That's when a lot of the clubs from the Premiership are coming down that shouldn't.
Yeah.
And you're against players who are obviously 2 tiers better than what you're in right now. So, yeah, going up steady is probably the best way to go about it, but this season could be the year.
Dad had every right to be optimistic this season and intrigued to see how his attacking threats would perform, and they didn't let him down. Jeffrey Bonney bagged 27 goals with 11 assists in an epic season for the new Welshman. And Fionn Mooney stepped up too, scoring 22 goals himself in what turned out to be a good season for his new signings. They finished in 2nd place and beat East Kilbride in the semi-final of the playoffs 2-0 on aggregate. They then went up against Queen of the South, where they fell behind twice in the second leg, but both times managed to pull it back to send the game to penalties. And there was a hero of the shootout, and he was wearing the Edinburgh City's goalkeeping shirt. Murray Johnson with 2 massive saves in the shootout, allowing Kennedy to step up with not a lot of pressure on him and the chance to secure promotion, doing just that.
Promotion it is, Dad.
Yes.
Penalty shootout. Hilariously, the only guy to miss a penalty for you was your lethal top scorer.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
Of Bonney, who did miss the only penalty for your side.
Can't be annoyed with him for what he'd done. He got us there. So
exactly. The rest of the lads chipped in and got the goals eventually too. So you have managed to get yourself promoted, going into the Championship, beating Queen of the South, who are obviously now going to be coming down. But I mean, he mentioned missing the penalty. He did score 27 goals, get 11 assists.
You can't argue with that, really, can you? He's done the business for me. That's what I got him in for.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Fionn Mooney's done quite well as well. A new signing as well. Came in, 22 goals for you. That was great. And Don Plank, who you decided to play every single game, 17
Didn't
assists.
let me down.
Hasn't exactly grown. I don't know whether you'd be able to use him next year.
That was what I was worried about. He didn't develop very much, but he got the assist, so he got us where helped get us where we got to. So
yeah,
I've got to thank him for that. But my defence is a little bit better, so hence why I come 2nd in the league. Really, pleased with that.
You have been backed a little bit again, so they're not really taking away all the money. You do have a little bit of money to play around with. That wage budget is going to be crucial to bring in free transfers, because now you're going up into a much bigger division, into the Championship, which could be a really difficult time for you. If you're looking at the type of clubs that are staying in the division, Dundee, Inverness, there's some big clubs in there in Scotland that you're going to have to compete and come up against.
Another step up to deal with, and just one promotion away from the big leagues, which means the standard of player goes up and the new faces are needed to be brought in, including a new striker on loan from St Mirren in Joseph Teasdale, who already bagged a few goals. However, the best signing might be Ibu da Costa, Senegalese centre-back who Dad signed that looks absolutely fantastic. Dad's being brave though and keeping the same tactic this season despite the jump up to the new league.
Smart transfer business.
Thank you.
It's very rare, it happens, but credit where it's due. I mean, this signing of Da Costa, I said to you when you were setting this up and you were like, what do I need to do tips-wise? I was like, start looking for the cheap African players that you can pick up.
Yeah.
Once they get work permits, they are so good. And this is exactly that. Ibu Da Costa, by far and away, probably the best centre-back in the division.
Yeah.
He is fantastic as a free transfer as well. So not bad at all. And, I mean, the club that you got him from, Diambar's in Senegalese football. So, you know, you're not spending any money. It's not going to cost you loads of money. Very good deals. And then using the loan market, which is crucial for getting up, because that's one thing I would have been critiquing you with so far, is the lack of loan players. But these are really good, especially Teasdale, who looks fantastic for this division. Can play from the left, can play up front. Looks great. I'm only a little bit concerned with Mac Thompson coming in, because 5.5k, he's a good goalkeeper, but I think Football Manager fans just love Murray Johnson because he's been a wonder kid.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, but you can't deny he's probably a better keeper right now than Murray Johnson.
That's the problem. I mean, you know Murray Johnson from your experience on there. To me, it was just another goalkeeper I had in this. I signed him last season, really. Good youngster coming through, but I didn't think he was good enough at this moment. That's why I got the other keeper in, really.
Yeah, I mean, you got to survive at the end of the day.
That's right. Yeah, it's all about now.
Yeah, because they are putting you as the worst team in the league.
Yeah,
as the newly promoted side, and you've got
how dare they?
Both Dundees in there.
I know, that's what makes it hard as well.
Falkirk. Yeah, there's some hard teams in this division, but you started off not too bad. 1 win against Falkirk. You got 2 draws against Rafe and Inverness. 2 losses against Livingston and Dundee. Now, Livingston looks like a weird one because they're below you, but the Dundee one you can understand.
Yeah, I mean, that was a right hammering by Livingston, but that's what this league's going to be about. There's going to be funny results in this league.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing the same tactic, but locking in Bonner on that left-hand side. Jude Bonner, who's going to be playing from the left. If you went the best 11 pick, you can see Mooney actually goes in there. He was, of course, really good last year.
He was, but is he good enough? That's what I was worried about. So no, I locked the other guy in. Yeah.
I'm more surprised that Bonnie doesn't get into the team now.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but Teasdale is kind of classed as a better player than him up front.
I just thought I'd let him fight it out.
Yeah, could see him just fight it out.
One of them scores all the goals,
between them, because survival is the main priority no matter who plays.
Once again, Dad had no problem scoring goals, as his side did plenty of that. His trouble was conceding them, and he drew and lost too many games because of it. 11 draws, 11 losses, and only 14 wins, leaving his side in 5th place, which still isn't bad considering it's the first time in the championship. This summer needed a mini refresh though, as Dad was losing 13 players who left with their contracts all running out. But this was by far Dad's best transfer window at Edinburgh City, as the quality of players such as Prodratsa was impressive for this level. JL Norval was another that caught the eye, because the 22-year-old joined on a free and hit the ground running, scoring 11 goals in the first 10 matches of the season, as his side gelled well together quite early on. This also might be down to the system switch that Dad made this summer, going into a 4-2-3-1 that turns into a mid-block 4-4-2 without the ball. A promising unbeaten start to the season was leaving him optimistic too.
Okay, Dad.
Yeah.
Best transfer window yet?
Yes, definitely. I lost a lot of players through coming to the end of the contract, so I knew it had to be a good transfer window, and boy, I've done some signings here.
Yeah, and not a penny being spent either.
No.
I mean, no loan signings, which, you know, I would suggest would be a good idea, but when you've got Javi Prodratsa coming in, a Colombian 23-year-old, he's going to go into that centre attack midfield positions, changing the tactic around. He looks like he could be great, especially at this level. And then we've got a couple of players here who are already standing out just from the goals and assists in the first few games.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Boswell, who is a left wing back or left midfielder, has got 5 goals and 3 assists from left wing. And then JL Norville, a free transfer from Watford, 8 games, 11 goals.
Yeah.
He's
Bang
quick.
on. Yeah,
he's
good.
He's finding the net already at this level. So that's really good. He's also got 3 player of the matches so far. Chiguada, 2 goals, 3 assists as well. Can be playing from the wing. He looks fantastic. So a lot of these new players that have been brought in are going into the first team automatically. I mean, we've got Norville going in there up front. JL Norville, who you've got in there, but that allows obviously Pedraza to go in behind him in the 4-2-3-1.
He's the main reason why I've changed the formation as well, because to get him into that attacking midfield role area. So yeah, I needed to do that.
Yeah, because when we don't do that, Chiguada for some reason goes up front. Plank still keeps his position for now, but Chiguada could obviously move across or Boswell, whoever. So it's a great start to the season in the Championship. It was a fantastic finish last year. Didn't make the playoffs, but as a first season in the division was very good. But 5 games in, only 1 draw.
That's the main thing.
And 4 wins so far.
That's good.
And some big wins too. So you're looking at that and you think, that's not bad. The season preview still puts you sort of in 8th place, down towards the bottom there, but you're still doing really well. So it could be on for a good year in the Scottish Championship.
I'm looking forward to this season with the squad that I've just built now. Like I said, those signings, best transfer window yet.
I agree.
I've got a good chance now.
Once again, Dad's Edinburgh City side were the most entertaining team to watch this season, scoring the most goals across the season with JL Norville bagging 22 goals. Don Plank also had an impressive campaign from the right-hand side as he achieved 20 assists. A loss and a draw in the final few games of the season, though, including against Queen's Park, allowed them to go on and win the league, meaning Dad's side finished in 2nd place. Where in the semi-final of the playoffs, they then defeated Inverness in a back-and-forth game for the neutral, where Pedraza and Norville combined for the winner. But that meant Dad had to go on and play Motherwell from the Premiership to secure promotion, and it could not have started any better. The same combination opened up the scoring in 4 minutes, and Edinburgh City doubled their advantage just 2 minutes later through Boswell. He then scored his 2nd and Edinburgh's 3rd of the tie just after half-time. However, Motherwell got themselves back into the tie for the 2nd leg to make it a little bit interesting with a consolation goal of hope. The 2nd leg then, you'd expect Motherwell at home to be a lot more dominant. However, Dad's side scored first again within 20 minutes. This finally woke Motherwell up and they scored either side of half-time, taking the lead on the night and closing the gap on aggregate down to just 1 goal. But under the cosh, the next goal being that important one, Dad's Edinburgh side seen the chance of promotion and snatched it as Don Plank scored the final blow in the 77th minute.
Big win! Up into the Premiership.
Gets in. Really pleased with that.
Defeating Motherwell across 2 legs. Always difficult because you've got to play that team from the league above to knock them into obviously your league to overtake them. But
it's one of those things as well, isn't it? Because they're right down because they finished bottom of the league, but they could still be a better side than you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So and for them to stay in the league, it's a big game for them.
Yeah. But 5-3 across the 2 legs. Fantastic stuff. Went to Motherwell with a 3-1 advantage. 2-2. But I think some of the standout players are kind of surprising. Norville, we expected to score a lot of goals. He got 33 across the whole season, which was great. Chiguada, Pedraza, both of them doing well. I'm so surprised with how well Don Plank done.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not that good.
I locked him in that time to sort of develop him, but he didn't develop. But he's getting results for me.
20 assists across the whole season, including in that final. He got a goal contribution in there as well. So I can't see him playing much in the Scottish Premiership. Especially, I mean, you haven't been given much, if anything.
No.
12 grand in the wage budget. But you're doing well at the minute finding these players.
I was a bit worried about that with not getting hardly any money whatsoever, and I thought, oh, come on, I'm going to need something. But that transfer window, I reckon, will see me through, hopefully, in the first season, really, as being a strong enough squad and just add 1 or 2 players to, I think.
To survive. Yeah. I mean, right now, Celtic have just won the league, 83 points above Rangers, but obviously, a lot of these clubs, you're going to be fighting around for them. To try and survive next year.
The big leap into the Scottish Premiership then in Season 7. But Dad's focus needs to be on survival this season and not on the title just yet, especially because there was no money to buy players with. But Dad continued bringing in smart free transfers such as David Fernandez, who looks like an excellent striker from Paraguay. And the recruitment from Africa continued as Nigerian Offerbor joined the club on a free and vastly improves his midfield, as well as centre-back Nfumin from the Democratic Republic of Congo, who is a very good left-footed centre-back. Those guys, as well as a new goalkeeper, set Dad Dad up with a very strong side in his first season in the Scottish Premiership, where somehow within 4 league games, Dad was unbeaten and in fact top of the league ahead of Celtic on goal difference.
Good transfer window considering you had nothing. Not bad at all.
Definitely, yeah.
Using the free transfer, the free agents quite well. Selling Fionn Mooney to Salford despite him not playing for a while. Bringing in extra cash. Sticking with the same tactic that got you promotion. It's ballsy.
Yeah, it's a bit dodgy because it could be too attacking, but that's where my best players are going forward. So I felt like I had to keep it, really. I bought a new ball-playing midfielder in. Off-Warren, is it?
Off a ball.
He could be good in that position. Good, strong player, really. And so I bought a new keeper in as well. I thought I needed a better keeper for this league.
Yeah.
So I've done that as well. So
what a season, what a start to the season anyway, because 4 wins already. 4 games, 3 wins. Yeah. Aberdeen Kilmarnock at Queen's Park. Queen's Park 6-0 against them.
Yeah, Aberdeen was the biggest one. I think first game of the season winning 2-1. Whoa, what a result that is.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it thinking, come on, type of thing, So, Johnson brought me back down or St Johnson, shall I say. They brought me back down to life, really, sort of getting the draw with them. But I haven't lost yet.
No, and I can't see you obviously staying up there, especially when you look at the players that are in the Media Dream 11. Ramsdale is the goalkeeper. Yeah. That's Aaron Ramsdale. That could be quite a difficult one to overcome. But a lot of Celtic players are Rangers players, and Hughes and Hunter in the midfield and centre-back position. There's some big players in there.
Yeah.
But the season preview puts you bottom.
They're going to win.
I think with this team, you might actually be able to survive.
Yes. I'm looking at the other teams around the bottom with me, from St Johnstone down, really. Are teams that I've got to beat them when I play against them.
Yeah.
But I've got the advantage that I've already beaten, like Aberdeen. So there's a couple of teams I get. You just need those odd games where you get an odd result and all that, and you'll survive.
Yeah, considering you took over the worst Scottish team that was possible to play, and we are here already in season 7 in the Premiership, and you never know, could win a cup at something like that this season. I think you've had an excellent time so far, but will it get better, or will you have to take a few hits? Let's find out.
The start of the season was an insight in not where Dad would finish, but how safe Dad would feel throughout the season, as he avoided any sort of relegation scrap. A nice and comfortable 8th place finish will do, as Dad looks to improve his team this summer. After all the players who are out of contract this summer left, he does only have 16 players remaining, however. Financially, the club is still 300k in debt as well. So Dad does need to be careful with transfers this summer, as high wages are becoming a factor too, as he extends the contracts of other players still at the club. Because of this, Dad was only bringing in 2 new players, as Pedro Leal first joins on a free transfer, a Brazilian striker or attacking midfielder, with the other also being a Brazilian in Robert as a goalkeeper. Yet again though, the season started so well, with Edinburgh City winning 4 out of their first 5 games, including against Edinburgh rivals Hearts. And with Dad's 18-man squad playing in his 4-2-3-1, he already opened up a 3-point gap at the top, as Rangers and Celtic have been leaking points too. Pedro Leal, one of the 2 new signings, did score the most goals this season with 17. However, Pedraza was trailing only by 1 with 16 from that number 10 position. But I think the lack of numbers took its toll on the squad, and that's why the side couldn't stay in the top half throughout the season. Still a good finish, finishing in 7th place, but the numbers need to increase if Dad is to challenge at the top of the league. A new stadium is also coming in the near future too, within the next 2 seasons. But the finances constantly are on the down. Can Dad turn this around?
Well, considering the money troubles you're having, and only having basically 16 players throughout the whole season, a 7th place finish away from all the drama down the bottom by quite a lot as well. 55 points.
Yeah, I was comfortable.
30 is Dundee United. Yeah. Nowhere near them, really.
Don't get me wrong, I'm pleased with that. The last 2 seasons to stay in this league, I'm pleased with that mid-table finish, really. Sort of, I just need a couple of the really good signings now to push me on, sort of the next step to get close to the top 3 or 4 there, really.
Yeah.
But like you say, the signings of new players, when the contracts are coming to the end, I was losing players, didn't want to sign and things like that. So I went through and signed quite a few of the strong players and put them on extended contracts to make sure I didn't lose them the next couple of seasons, really.
Yeah, so all of the ones that run out of contract at the end of this season have already gone, because the contracts run out the 31st of May. We're on the 1st of June, so that's not too bad. And the transfer, or the money, you haven't got a lot again, really. The wages, 2.9k. That's not a lot when you consider... the money that you're spending on wages.
I'm paying a bit of wages.
You're paying
now.
basically for a best player.
Yeah.
So that's what you'll struggle with. You look at there, Rodri Smith, who might be your best player. He is on 2.9k, so that's that one player
to get him in. He asked for big wages, and you got to pay it. You got to pay it,
or else you're just going to lose them all.
Yeah.
So it might be a tough couple of seasons until you have enough to sort of start selling players for now. But as long as you're surviving, then this could be the hardest point.
Yeah, definitely.
It still seems at this point the final step is a long way off for Dad's side. But one real good transfer window could be the difference in Edinburgh City just existing in the Premiership to actually competing in it. Although what he didn't expect was to make nearly £500,000 from selling an 18-year-old youth academy prospect to Linfield. Dad didn't spend that money though. He continued to bring in great free transfers such as Majuka, a striker from Venezuela, which was the catalyst for him switching his system this season to a 2-striker formation in a 4-2-2. The downside to this window is that Da Costa left the club, not wanting to renew his contract.
Well, if it isn't for the selling of 450k for Patrick Murray, good youngster, but again, a sacrificial lamb at this point.
Oh, that's what you've got to do.
Is very much
it's one of the
needed.
things you have taught me, that when you get to certain stages, sometimes you've got to sell your best player to get 2 or 3 players in.
Yeah, and these 3 free transfers coming in could be crucial for going forward, because all of them together are probably better than what Patrick Murray is right now. Patrick Murray in the future could be a better player than all of them. You don't know. But I like this decision of going 2 up front with Gabriel Majuka coming in as a second striker, because he looks great for this division.
I mean, this is why I never had. That's why I had to sell Murray, really, because I got this player in. He's asking 2.8k wages, so he took all the money I had at the time. So
he got 17 goals for his last club in the Colombian leagues, but going 2 up front, and if you can see the best 11 pick, he goes up there with Pedro Leal. So a nice little strike force there. The team is definitely shaping up to be very attacking.
They are, yeah.
I like it though, and it started off quite well.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, 5 games again, 1 loss against Rangers away, which you expect.
I expect that, yeah.
Draw to Kilmarnock at home. Could be disappointing that one, but 3 wins. Hearts being one of them. Again, it's a great start.
It's one of those. You look at. I lost. Was it Kilmarnock or drew against Kilmarnock?
Yeah.
I'm disappointed I drew that, but then I beat Hearts. So, you know, if it was the other way around, you'd be still be really happy.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, really good start. 10 points in 5 games, right behind Celtic. I can't ask for a
Not bad, considering they still rate you as the worst team in the league in the season preview.
On, what are you doing?
So, season 9. They predict you to go down, but I think you might even do better than this let's try and survive situation.
This was a standout season for Dad, because as early as December, he found himself in the League Cup final against rivals Hibs, which after a 4-4 finish went to a penalty shootout where Robert saved 3 penalties, allowing Edinburgh City to score through off a ball to lift their first ever trophy. Majuka was a huge positive for Dad this season too, as he and David Fernandez formed a great partnership, and Majuka scored 32 goals with 12 assists, while Fernandez scored 22 with 9. And this resulted in a fantastic 3rd place finish between the other 2 sides from Edinburgh, as Rangers dropped down to 5th.
Well, Dad, a 3rd place finish and a League Cup.
Where did that come from?
Not bad at all. Penalties over Hibernian, so avoiding the 2 big ones, which is obviously
that's the thing. You got
luck that you need.
If they're not in the final, you got to jump at the chance of winning it. Then
and exactly. And a 3rd place finish, which could mean European football.
Oh no, that's frightening.
Could be the first attempt at a European trophy for Edinburgh City.
I've split Rangers and Celtic already.
Yeah.
Didn't expect to do that so soon. So
not bad.
Yep, got
Gabriel
in there.
Majuka, 32 goals. He adapted well to the Scottish leagues. 12 assists, lovely stuff. You are losing David Fernandez though, his strike partner. He's going 22 goals that you're going to have to find a replacement for. But now that you've got the experience and obviously the reputation of doing well in this division, it should be too hard to find a player of his caliber, if not even better.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Especially because the recruitment, they're giving you a little bit more than what they have done previously. 16 grand in the wages, 95 grand in terms of the transfers.
This season was a massive one because Edinburgh City were in European qualifications, and making a European competition would mean big money that the club really needs. He signed more fantastic players, again without spending on transfer fees, as 4 players like Shearer came through as free transfers. The quality of these players, you will notice, is yet again another step up from what we are used to seeing at Edinburgh City as Dad prepares for Europe. with the best player being Ramazan Baghdad, a striker from Kazakhstan that Dad picked up on a free transfer. The first qualification stage was against a team from Slovenia, in which Dad defeated 6-5 on aggregate after extra time in Edinburgh. Next, and the last Europa League qualification round was against Karabakh from Azerbaijan, and a win for Dad means Europa League football this season. A loss means Europa Conference League. So it's a win-win, and the first leg started fantastically well, winning 4-1 at home. And a smart loss in the second leg, 4-3, means he is indeed in the Europa League phase this season.
A couple of massive signings for you, Dad. I mean,
Yeah,
Drew
definitely.
Shearer being one of them. He looks fantastic.
good
I
winger.
think Baghdad might be my favourite, though.
Yes,
he
definitely,
looks absolutely quality from Kazakhstan. Looks a quality player. And, of course, replacing the player that you lost in Rodriguez last season with somebody who I think is probably better. Baghdad, you can see, 4.5 star as that channel forward. Could be great for you, especially with, I mean, you were too good in the Europa League qualifiers, because you lose that tie to Karabakh and you then go into the Europa Conference League.
Yeah.
Now you went on and won it. So unfortunately, you got to play Europa League football
Yeah, I
this
know,
year,
that's the
which is going to
problem,
be
isn't it?
harder to face.
Yeah.
The likes of Athletic Bilbao and Strasbourg, some big
There's
teams
some
in
big
there.
teams in there. I mean, it's bad enough being in this league,
Porto at the
but
end.
yeah, coming
Feyenoord.
against Porto and Feyenoord, you're just looking. I'm not even thinking about that sort of league. I'm just concentrating on the Premier League really and see what I can do in this league.
Yeah, the Scottish Premiership, you've started quite well. 7 points there from your opening 4 fixtures. A loss, unfortunately, to Celtic, which, again,
take
you'd
that.
expect. Draw the Hearts away from home, again, not too bad. And 2 wins that you would hope to get in that. The season preview, though, finally gives you a little bit of credibility.
Yeah.
Up into 9th place, which is kind of interesting. Still no players in this Media Dream 11 yet, but I think if that guy does quite well, Baghdad up front, the Zondi guy might be in trouble, because Monzondi, although he does look quite good, in fact, he looks absolutely
It's going to be hard to take over. in a minute.
you might end up getting a better player there. So tough, but European football for the first time for Edinburgh City.
Once again, Dad's side was celebrated in December after Baghdad scored a winner in the League Cup final against Celtic in extra time. And he and Mizuka were fantastic, as Mizuka scored 31 goals, while Baghdad scored 23 with 14 assists. Both strikers and even the wingers around them really enjoyed the goals this year, as Esquivel and Shearer hit 18 and 20 assists this season too. And this season finished on such a high, as Dad's side were runners-up behind Chelsea in the Scottish Premiership and only 6 points behind them, while beating them in the second cup final of the season, lifting the Scottish FA Cup for the first time with a 2-1 victory to stamp their authority. In Europe, it was obviously tough, as Dad's side finished in 20th place in the league phase, and unfortunately getting themselves knocked out in the knockout playoff round by Croatian side Osijek.
I feel like we're really close, you know. Second in the Premiership, but won both cups.
Yes.
So not only just the League Cup, beating Celtic in there too, but beating Celtic in the Scottish FA Cup as well. So that is huge.
It goes to show you can beat them. You can beat them. You know, one-off games, you can beat them, and I've proved that. So, yeah, pleased with that.
Second place in the league as well, and not that far behind them either.
2
Just
games.
a couple of losses.
Lost 2 games,
6
that's what it is.
points.
Yeah.
Yes, we didn't do too well in the Europa League. Newcastle and Porto finished that one off, but again, as you kind of would have expected, finishing in 20th, I would anticipate you to struggle to even get into the playoffs. So the fact that you did, I think is still an improvement. Unfortunately, Osijek was a little bit too much. But this team that you're building, if you can continue to build on it, because 2035, there's a few players who you've still got for another year who are your best players, the likes of Majuka, 31 goals. Baghdad 23 and 14, you could be onto something. Those two are crucial to keep hold of. And the money that they are giving you now, we finally got £1 million in there.
Yes.
At the very least. 2 million in transfer budget, 8 grand in player wage budget. Just keep doing what you're doing, because I think we could be kind of close.
The next step of lifting the Scottish Premiership trophy doesn't look as far off as it did a couple of seasons ago, especially because the European football has been great for the club financially too. So this summer, Dad needed to spend the transfer budget wisely, and it's not something he's used to. But it's an exciting season either way, because Edinburgh City Stadium is open for the first time, a 17,000 seater stadium, and it's a thing of beauty and will make a fortress with Dad in charge, hopefully, this season. 3 new free transfers joined the club this season who all up the ceiling of quality they now have, and the depth of the squad improves drastically too. A loan signing from Juventus has joined as well, with a really good centre-back option for Dad. And with certain players leaving for big profits, Dad finally spent some money to bring in a player, as Labrador, a Colombian centre-back, joins for 250k. But the player Dad is most excited about joins in January, and of course it's a new goalkeeper, Colombian again, Jeffrey Manquillo, and it's easy to see why Dad is so excited about the player.
Right, Dad, on top of some very good signings, including that lonely centre-back, you've also got a player that's joining you in January, Jeffrey Manquillo. Now, a lot of people might be saying, well, this is unlike Dad, he hasn't signed a lot of goalkeepers. Here's a good one.
Yes. I like signing goalkeepers, but I always feel the next stage up, to go up the next stage, you need a better keeper each time. This guy would definitely do it for me, but I couldn't get him to come in at the start of the season, so I'm just taking it halfway through the season.
When his contract runs out.
He's
a Colombian goalkeeper, Llaneros FC. I love that badge, by the way. That's fantastic. But yeah, he's joining. What a great new gen he is. I mean, he already looks very good at age 23.
23, yeah.
Good with both feet too.
Yeah.
6'1", good height. Yeah, what's not to like about him? I think he's going to be a good asset to your side. And you're sticking with that 4-2-2 formation, not locking anyone in.
Nope.
We're going again.
It's been doing well for me so far, so let it go.
Challenging for that league title.
Yeah, and I put 2 centre-backs in. Well, obviously, one of them's on loan, so they've gone straight into the team as well. 2 wingers, and they've gone into the team as well. And I put one Harrison as well. So all the new boys are in the team. So just looking forward to when I get the keeper there as well.
Let's see what happens.
Unfortunately, landing in the Champions League meant it was a tough time for Edinburgh City, losing 6 games and only winning 2, including games against PSG, Barcelona and AC Milan. And it was an exit in the league phase, still a season or 2 too early for that yet. Baghdad and Majuka were back at it again, doing what they do best and scoring goals. Baghdad scored 32 goals to take the top scorer, while Majuka finished the year with 27 but with 12 assists. And Dad was so incredibly lucky not to be crowned as champions this season, as Celtic somehow pulled out an unbelievable season, finishing with 100 points and 5 points ahead of Dad. But for the second time in a row, Dad's Edinburgh side is lifting the Scottish Cup, this time beating Dundee 5-1 at Hampden.
Well, I think you're quite unlucky here, really, because Celtic... 95 points to 100, so you are unlucky. They only lost 2 games, and you were one of them that beat them. But you got a cup.
I got a cup,
year.
yeah.
The Scottish Cup, one of the big ones. Not down the league phase, the Champions League, but you're unlucky really to avoid the Europa Conference altogether.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
But the Edinburgh City Dundee match, 5-1 in the Scottish Cup final. Lovely stuff. We've got Andino, Cartero, Baghdad, all the big boys are scoring goals. And speaking of which, obviously, keeping them out is the goalkeeper as well. He joined halfway through the season, played very well when he did come in. 23 games that you can see, obviously, he's far and above better than the other 2 goalkeepers that you had. Goals-wise, Baghdad got 32. Majuka got 27.
They've got to be so disappointed scoring that amount of goals and only come in second in it with 95 points. Any other time that would have probably won the league quite easily.
Yeah. So you're going into the summer with a good budget too, £12 million.
Now it's starting to work now. I've got myself into that Champions League sort of. All right, I didn't do well, but the money comes in.
Money comes in.
That's where you've got to get yourself into it, you know. So I'm chuffed a bit. So the board's going to support me with this. So
you got over the hard part. Hard part of being promoted with no money and holding on to what you can, scrapping for some free transfers. Now you can go and enjoy.
I'm still going to look for the bargain free transfer though, because
they've got you this far.
They got me this far so far, and I picked up some little gems as well. So. Yeah.
Big summer ahead then.
With 12 million in the transfer budget, this season Dad was making sure he had 2 players that were first team quality for every position. And signings such as Hardin from Manchester United would help that. A quality backup striker behind Baghdad for just £1.5 billion. Jokic, a centre-back that cost Dad £1.4 million, is another great option too. And although I did think Dad was crazy bringing in yet another goalkeeper from Denmark, For £1.4 million, he is still a good bargain. Dad's best player, though, was his free transfers yet again, Liam Yeboah being one of them at left back. The best, however, was Teddy Oligbo. What a player he is for Dad that signed on a free transfer from Arsenal. He was one of the players that scored in the 5-2 first leg win against Feyenoord to qualify for the Champions League. A two-legged tie that Dad's Edinburgh side made look really easy and breezed through 7-3 winners. Although Dad's side was making the whole season look rather simple at the start of the September.
Right, so there is some money being spent.
Yes.
You got Harding coming in from United, who looks like a really good talent here. Another £1.4 million on Jokic, who from like a left-sided defender, again looks really good, 6'3". I think your standout player might be some of the free transfers that you got, though.
There you go. See.
Oligbo looks absolutely unbelievable.
Really good, isn't he?
So, I mean, we looked at the Celtic striker that they had a couple of seasons ago, and if he's still around, then you might be in a little bit of trouble still. But Arsenal Youth Academy, you love signing Arsenal players. It was perfect for you. 2 goals and an assist, 2 player of the matches in 4 appearances so far. It's perfect start for him. Yeah. Keep him with the same tactic as well.
I didn't want to change the tactic. It got me to second in the league with 95 points. Why would I want to change it? So I've just what I set out to do was to buy 2 good players for every position, and that's what I went out to do. And you look at the team now and you think there's a few players in there I don't recognise the name. I mean, my 2 strikers, I've changed the 2 strikers already. Look,
yeah, back they
were really good last season, weren't they? Yeah. So I've got 4 good strikers now, I feel. So that's what I set out to do. I didn't spend a lot of I spent my 12 million, but I didn't spend big on one player.
A lot of it was on the keeper, which I was surprised with, considering you had a good keeper come in.
He was, I think he was my last signing, the keeper.
Yeah, and he was £1.9 million, £1.4 million.
He was my last signing, and I looked at my reserve keeper, Roberts, and I just felt, if I get an injury, do I think he was good enough? And I didn't, so I went out and got another keeper with the last bit of money that I had.
Well, you started off the season quite well as well. We're top of the league, 5 wins from 5. And you qualified for that Champions League.
Yes. As much as I didn't want to. Feyenoord couldn't keep up with me.
Feyenoord, knocking out Dynamo Kiev. Only dropped 1 game there. So far, it's really good.
When I went to Feyenoord and won 5-2, I thought, hang on a minute. What am I doing here?
That's a sign of good things to come.
This is really good, isn't it? So,
yeah, it's a sign that you've got to. And, of course, you battered Rangers.
I battered them, yeah. So, really, really good start to the season.
Cracking start. You've just got to do the hard bit now and beat Celtic. The season preview, let's have a quick gander at that. The season preview still puts Celtic up there, but it puts you in 4th place. Yeah. You still have yet to get a player in there.
I can't believe one of my players is not on that pit. I mean, we know that striker, like you say, was earlier. He is really good.
Was unbelievable.
But my striker can't be far off.
Yeah, he's close to that. Yeah. I reckon he's close to that. Big campaign then ahead for season number 12.
Once again, this season, Dad's Edinburgh side was scoring a lot of goals. Even in the Champions League phase, despite finishing down the very last spot to qualify, they still scored 19 goals. The knockout playoff spot puts him against Sporting in the first leg, and Dag snagged a 2-0 home win. And in the second leg in Lisbon, after going a goal down and pulling one back, 3-1 up and under the cosh, a fantastic breakaway killed the game off to progress 4-1 winners on aggregate. A great win, but the round of 16, Dad was going on to face Liverpool. With the home tie first, Dad needed his lads to pull off something special. However, this Liverpool side was incredibly strong, and unfortunately for Dad, and Edinburgh City couldn't hold them off, nor score a goal, and the first leg finished 2-0 to Liverpool. The second leg at Anfield started slow, but the first goal was beautifully scored by Andino with a back post header, and the dream was on until Liverpool finally kicked into gear and punished Edinburgh with bad clearances and the clinical finish to finish off. With the aggregate score knocking Dad out with a convincing 5-1 win, but the signs were definitely still there. Dad's side were performing well in the league, with Harding and Oligbo banging in the goals unexpectedly, with big results coming away to Celtic in late April, as Edinburgh City took down the champions 2-1 and put themselves at the top of the league. A little hiccup came a couple of weeks later at home to rivals Hearts as they scored a 95th minute winner. But Celtic were also all over the place and dropped 4 points against both Edinburgh sides, Hearts and Hibernian, either side of beating Rangers. And while that was happening, Edinburgh City were picking up a vital 3 points, beating Aberdeen 1-0, which incidentally crowned Dad champions of Scotland for the very first time, meaning they travelled to Ibrox Stadium and could enjoy themselves, which is exactly what they did, scoring 3 goals and winning 3-1. And Dad has done it, taking the worst team in Scotland and rebuilding them to become champions. But it took 12 seasons, but you got the job done.
87 points.
Yeah.
I got 95 last season.
95 last season.
Come on.
Celtic dropped off massively.
Oh, didn't they just?
So many draws.
Yes.
You drew against them twice, but you also beat them twice.
Yeah.
And that's the big difference because you won by 6 points.
That's the way. You got to beat them. So you got to beat the best to be the best. And,
Exactly.
That's what I've done this season.
You didn't lose against them all year. You did very well. You defeated Rangers towards the end of the season as well to keep the dream alive. You got the job done. And you had some of the biggest goal scorers in there as well. Mankilo ended up being the goalkeeper, keeping the most clean sheets. Not only that, but you did get out of the Champions League phase, round of 16 by Liverpool.
Yeah.
So quite unfortunate there, but the league phase, you got out of it.
I'm going to take that though.
Yeah.
Because of the money it gives you.
Well, I'd say you beat Feyenoord again.
Yes.
Like, I don't know how they managed to get back into it after you knocked them out the first bit. But you lost 5 games.
Oh no,
And some of them were close as well.
Yeah.
Besiktas, Porto, Chelsea away. Not bad
Some
for
hard
results,
games in
to
there,
be
but,
honest.
yeah, I'm going to take that because you just know it gives you a good bit of money. You like to go on further, but I do think when you come up against the really big sides, they're like the Real Madrids, Liverpools, Man Cities, Chelsea's, and all that, you don't stand much of a chance. PSG's and that. So.
You knocked out Sporting in the knockout playoff round.
Yeah.
You come up against Liverpool, unfortunate 5-1 across the aggregate scores. But what a team that you've built here, Dad, and rebuilt Edinburgh City with.
Yes.
Raheem Harding was the top scorer with 35 goals this season. I thought it would be a Ligbo, but he only got 21.
Yeah.
So that ain't too bad. Santino Andino has done quite well from the wings, 14 and 20. You got some good players in here for anybody who wants to take this on from this
take
point.
It on. See what you can do.
The save game file will be made available for you on patreon.com/MegaLoot Gaming or on the YouTube channel members. Or, of course, if you just want to steal the tactic that Dad's built, because clearly it's doing quite well. So that will be made available for everybody who supports there. Thank you very much. But well done, Dad. Fantastic stuff. And anybody who does carry it on, you get £18 million.
Yes.
Take this team on. See if you can win a European Cup with Edinburgh City. But the rebuild, well and truly done. From the worst team in Scotland with impending doom, by the looks of it.
Struggled in the early parts.
Minus 15 points, all the way to becoming the best team in Scotland.
Come on.
Got it done. If you enjoy videos just like this, why not check out this video, because I decided to do a full homegrown youth-only challenge with Chelsea. I had to sell every player that never came through the youth academy, but I was allowed to buy some certain players back.